Hi all and greetings. This is Kat Meyer coming to you from Sacred Plant Tradition. So this is the second video in a series that I'll be doing this summer. And so I'm not going to stop and talk a whole lot about teasel, but if you saw the first one, here is the magnificent teasel bloom. Isn't that absolutely stunning? And you can see it's been very dry. It's like blue Colorado skies. So that fluid and the moistness that we saw that was collected and gathered in the joints as a doctor in his signatures to say that teasel was wonderful for lubrication and moistening of our joints. But isn't this, oh, I don't want to interrupt the intimacy, but magnificent pollinators. But look at that incredible flower. It's so beautiful. So we'll leave that little intimate happening to continue happening. So yeah, so what I'll be doing is taking you to different plants and focusing on them, and also kind of touring through, as you can see, the changes in the garden. And you know, when you can know these beauties and plants without their flowers, it certainly is quite stunning. But this is blue vervain. I want to show you the blue vervain, and later on we're going to see the magnificent flowers that are coming forward from this and really look like that nerve ending. It treats such different states of the nervous system. I love Jim McDonald. He said the blue vervain person is that person who is walking with their head forward and eyes down and just so much on their mind and moving very quickly. I relate to that a lot because I'm in my head and I'm always thinking of things to do. And I just have such a love for blue vervain. But we'll see this plant as they come on and flower, but really very distinctive toothed leaves. Oops, sorry, I'll get out of the shadow. Um, just the structure of the leaf. It's a beautiful square stem. And maybe one of these days I'll learn how to write botanical names on the film. Here are black-eyed Susans. We have some in bloom. A little similar, very different edging. Black-eyed Susans are Rudbeckia family, and they can be used like an echinacea. Echinacea is the Rudbeckia, but as you know, echinacea is cold medicine. It's for clearing heat, and Rudbeckia is much warmer. I use it more as a tonic, not so much as I have used echinacea. But you can see we have lots of the Rudbeckia all through here. You just have to be mindful of black-eyed Susans. They can take over. So I'm not going to get too close to this stunning lavender because it is loaded with the bees, just having a heyday. So the lavender, you know, to harvest it, it's such a beauty in the garden. And we have two lavenders here. And we've been doing a lot with supporting jail support with Botanica and working a lot with the protests and the marching. And we use lavender a lot. We put lavender drops in inhalers and we give them to medics as well as those that are marching or those that are particularly triggered by the trauma. They're so easy to make. You just get those white inhalers, those plastic tubes, and there's cotton in the center, and putting a couple of drops of lavender oil on that can have a profound effect for the stress. Yeah, but here's these super beautiful lavenders. You know, I personally am not a huge fan of lavender tea. I love it in scones, and my neighbor just this morning was talking about how she made a lavender elixir and a syrup, and she was telling me about all the different cocktails. But lavender is lavare, to cleanse, to clear. Um, Great for stress, great for kind of clearing. You know, we really don't want to be burning the endangered sages with the desert sage. And, you know, my teacher, Karen Sanders, taught burn any herb. I mean, we burn agrimony. Oh, I have some agrimony. I'll show you agrimony. But we burn agrimony, and oh my God, it was like so incredibly trippy how it changed the space. So burning lavender or bruising lavender, it's such a beautiful herb. It likes it dry, it likes it the Mediterranean. You can see it's time for us to cut back our thyme. This is sort of our aromatic garden. Here's the tarragon. Maybe I'll take a little nip of this. Of course, I'll show you the skullcap. Oh, here's the black-eyed Susans. Really coming on in their full glory. But anyway, oh, and there's a wild daga. We'll come back to that. It's a Leonaris, an African motherwort. But you can see how tall the lavenders are, and how to give them a good amount of space. I'm going to show you the skullcap that is really coming on. We might even harvest the skullcap. It's under this beautiful buckeye. Again, skullcap Scutellaria laterifolia has to be tinctured fresh. It cannot be tinctured in dry. And of course, it's a mint, so it has this beautiful square stem on it. It's the above ground parts. It's going to have a blue flower. It's all with the rose campion intermixed. And you know, sometimes a Scutellaria is a hard one to grow. Other times people just have an abundance of it. But you can see it likes it cool. It's super happy in the shade of that beautiful buckeye. I want to show you over here rhodiola. Angel planted this rhodiola quite a while ago. The rhodiola is this beautiful succulent. I don't particularly use rhodiola a whole lot, although it's, you know, highly revered, adaptogen, incredible herb. But here it is, growing, and it comes back every year. It's just, I love succulents. So this one's beautiful, and it's doing well. Like, I don't know, I've never seen it in native. God, maybe this is struggling for us. It's like, oh my God, look at the rhodiola, it's so beautiful. Also taking you to the beautiful lilies. And the lotus, oh my goodness, here comes the lotus. Oh, that's gonna be so beautiful. It's gonna be so beautiful. You know, I gotta say, I don't do a ton to this pond. I'll put in biologicals to keep it nice and clean. Here are the tadpoles. But this is just such a beautiful way to have the water element present. So I don't want to make these too long. Oh, here's calendula. Here's our calendula bush. Time to come out and harvest. We let some go to seed, so we can gather the seed and then we'll replant that. But what I want to do is take you to our elder. Oh, here's clary sage. Isn't that beautiful? So this just self-seeds. I think I planted one clary sage, I don't know, 5 years ago. And so I love it. Here, let me get in the pergola. Because it sort of creates a room. And so all on the back here is elder. Can you see all those elder flowers? So we will be harvesting today. It's been raining. And so we cut the elder down so that we'd be able to reach it and harvest it. But you can see that it really creates a nice protective wall in the pergola. I love living buildings. So here's our clary sage. Wish you were here to smell it. And here comes elecampane, Inula helenium. It's the root that is used. Really been very useful for herbalists working with COVID. It's warming. Elecampane is a beautifully warming expectorant and stimulant and works deep in the lungs. So what I want to do is I just want to take a few more plants. I want to show you the sweetgrass. Here's the sweetgrass that's taken over our spirit center. We just have this garden, and we just invite plants to come in to work with spirit. And of course, we did plant one sweetgrass, and then we planted this ceremonial sage, the white sage, desert sage. We did plant that, and wood betony. Here are some beautiful wood betony. Stachys officinalis. Now you can see it looks like this Verbena biclensis, kind of wild, zenny looking vervain. Phyllis Light uses Verbena biclensis, and I think Verbena brasilianus, the way we use our Verbena histata. But I don't want to confuse you, because I'm sure I am, but this is wood betony. This is Stachys. And this is such a magical, mystical herb for helping us to stay grounded. It's really great for the gut-brain relationship, the solar plexus. But I also want to show you the elderflower. How magnificent. So, of course, when you have all that elderflower, you can harvest the flower, but you want to leave some flowers for the berries. But we're just totally enthralled. Those are all the birds that you can hear. So I just want to show you a couple of echinaceas. This is Echinacea paradoxa. So beautiful. We had a really, really intense storm, and you see these flowers just resting and laying down on the ground. But this is the yellow paradoxa echinacea. We don't harvest it. There's different indications for it. And over here we have the Echinacea angustifolia. It's a narrowed leaf. It's different than the purpurea. It's reaching for the sun. You can see it's not exactly beautifully located because it is reaching. But look at the difference. You can see the difference in the flower head than the purpurea. Purpurea has more of a, let's see, not a daisy-like, but the petals are outstretched, and we have one out front. I'll show you the difference. See the narrow leaf of the angustifolia? And so it's the seeds. What I do is I gather the seeds and the flowers. The seeds have incredible medicine. This is more of a specimen garden. We don't harvest a whole lot unless it's the leaves. Of course, we're going to be harvesting that elder. But yeah, so we harvest the seed heads of Echinacea. Great amounts of the alkaloid of the medicine. It's still tongue numbing and tingling, and look at that beautiful bee that landed as we're singing her praises, his praises, their praises. So I prefer angustifolia to purpurea. I feel it has a deeper medicine. We've worked with copperhead snake bites, so I would definitely want angustifolias versus purpurea. A lot of times we'll put them both together. This is a beautiful salsify seed head. Isn't that just remarkable? It's kind of taken over. I don't know, it's this beautiful yellow flower. Oh, look, here's the golden seal berry. So this is under a viburnum. Here's our black cohosh. It's all under a viburnum and a dogwood, and there's some more black cohosh back there. Again, this is a botanical sanctuary, United Plant Savers. I'm trying not to use much black cohosh. I'm trying to find analogs. And we'll talk about black cohosh. Oh, here, because this is passing. So here's a milk thistle. This is one that I wanted to talk about because the flowers kind of are passing. So they were brilliant, brilliant purple. Sorry about the heat pump there. So the goldfinches were here sitting on these spiky seed heads. And so it's the seed, it's the milk thistle seed that when these aren't ready, but these are all full of the seeds, and this is so incredibly prickly. And quite interesting. We just hang them upside down to dry. But this is where the seeds come from. And you really, really want to be working with gloves. But look at how magnificent. And you know, you have to be careful planting milk thistle, but we just have this one. And it just is standing so magnificent. And I use milk thistle, and this is the only plant I use standardized. I love standardized milk thistle because to really get a good strong milk thistle, you have to use grain alcohol, and I don't want to use alcohol when I'm working with somebody's liver. And I've seen this bring poisoned babies back, poison from Tylenol, infants. Just such a profound herb, and there's really no toxicity. I feel very safe working with people on medications. In fact, anyone that's on strong medications, I really recommend taking a couple capsules a day. That's it. It's a really profound medicine. So let me go to the front, show you where we just transplanted. So look, you saw the car. We're downtown Charlottesville. Just want to encourage. Oh my goodness, look who showed up here. Here's an elder. How did you get up leaving the family? Was it too crowded back there? Aw, look at the beautiful hydrangea. So I'm coming over here. Oh, look at the cohosh. Boy, you turn the corner and it's like, yikes. Yikes, yikes. How magnificent. Actea racemosa. A raceme is a botanical description talking about how these flowers come out in this, what's called a raceme. You can see how they bloom as they're moving towards the tip. Poke does that. Many plants have that raceme structure, and that's the racemosa of the raceme. Black cohosh. So yeah, so Taylor, our garden gal, one of them, she just transplanted all of these golden seals from under the rose. And we've had golden seal here before. She transplanted the Solomon seal, and Lori Kinsenberry just came up and donated all these beautiful Solomon seal roots that we planted in behind the golden seal. And so we're going to keep the leaves off, and we're going to water them in and make sure they stay hydrated. We did take the berries off. Now, when you transplant, like, this is not the time to be transplanting, right? You want to transplant in the fall, but we had to do it. So as I'm coming in through here, I'm going to get that little berry. I want to take the berries off. We took all the berries off because the plant is going to be putting a tremendous amount of energy into the berries. And when you transplant them, there's a struggle enough. So we took the berries off, we saved them, we might tincture them. They were green, and I've never transplanted this time of year, but I think they'll do fine. If they really struggle, I might come back later and take some of the leaves off. When you take the above ground parts off, not all of them, because you really want some of the leaves to get the sun to photosynthesize and nourish. But we know they'll do well because look, here's all these other golden seals right at the beginning of the path. So why don't I conclude with the Echinacea purpurea, which is much more common and easier to grow. And so you can add Angustifolia and purpurea. So these are kind of struggling because they're in the midst of the teasel. And so you can see the leaves are more, or the petals are more radiant. They're not dropping down like the Angustifolia or the pallida, and the leaves are wider. The Angustifolia purpurea, or the common Echinacea, is much easier to grow. And you can see now that the petals are drooping downward, but the leaves are definitely wider. And so here, these moved away from the larger teasels. But how magnificent are these teasels? All right. Okay, y'all. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're supporting all Black lives that matter, brown lives that matter, all the indigenous people that have been struggling for millennia. And now is the time, with all of our plants and all of our wisdom, to really come together and hold this change. Thank you.